Hello, and welcome. I'm Nick, and welcome to another edition of DooM WAD Travelogue, the show where we say just because it is not a great idea to be going out quite yet, that doesn't mean that we can't still explore new and interesting spaces. We just do it in the form of user created DooM WADs and level packs. Now then, today, first of all, please admire my new uh, backdrop. $5 at a yard sale, and like not even a whole afternoon's worth of work. And sometimes things just work out. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of how quickly it came together. Uh, but uh, for the show today, not only do we have new set dressing, but what I have picked for today's episode is uh, a WAD called 900 Deep in the Dead. Now, we already looked at 1024 challenge maps, which limited the space that the level could take up. We looked at the 10 in 10, which limited the number of monsters and in a certain way limited the size and scope of those maps. 900 in the Dead is another sort of creative challenge style WAD. But in this case, instead, what we're limiting is it's 9 maps and it's 100 line defs per map. If you don't remember what line defs are, in this case, it is so when you're making a map, it's you're drawing as if on graph paper, right? So every straight line segment is a line def. So that means when you draw a square room, you're drawing the square of the four walls. That's 4 lines right there. That would leave you at 96 more lines in this particular challenge. So every elevator, every cut out into a wall, every window, pretty much every single piece of geometry takes up some amount of line defs. Uh, so this is like a sort of minimalist challenge. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be short maps because it doesn't limit the item placement and it doesn't limit the space it can take up. So theoretically, if you want to make a hall, like, so let's say you have 2 square rooms, right? That's 8 lines. A hallway connecting them would be another 4 lines. Actually, it gets weird because the wall, the doorway, and the wall means that this wall is actually 3. So it's 4 for each, plus 2 more each. So that's 6 each. That's 12, and then 2 more for the hallway. Okay. So that's 14 overall. But the thing is, uh, that hallway could like it. No matter how long it is, it's still only the 2 lines. So you could make that hallway, 3 miles long, and fill that with as many monsters as you want. In that case, it's arguably a big map. Uh, it's just you have to use it sort of like as simple shape definitions as you can in order to stay inside that 100 lines. Um, but that's enough me theory crafting it. Let's look at it. I don't know how long this is going to be. Like I said, it is a constraint challenge, which means that these maps are the author describes them as admittedly fairly short. Um, it was done for Doom 1 as episode 1, so it's only a set of 9 levels, and I have no idea what to expect in terms of difficulty or enemy placement or stuff like that. So it's really a question of how much combat there is. But as we do on this show, we play on the easiest, so that might not be a particular issue. Alrighty. The other reason I picked this level pack, and hopefully it'll come up here in a second, uh, is look at this title screen art. Like that is just some. That does not last very long. That is some cute. That is almost some Mega Man inspired. So that was a big thing that got me looking at. But okay, enough yapping. Let's play 900 Deep in the Dead. If this is your first episode, as a reminder, because this show is about the exploration and not the challenge, we play on the easiest difficulty. And if something comes up and the gameplay ends up being a slog, ends up being too challenging, we die over and over again. If something seems to be broken, and rather than slamming our head against a map, we will drop into God mode or no clip or whatever it takes to push through and see more of the map. Alrighty, with that out of the way. Let's go. Right, and I explained the essence of the challenge of these maps. This WAD in particular was saying, "Oh, let me do." I believe it was trying to like, basically like, almost like a demake. Say, let's do episode 1, but just sort of like lower the resolution down to 100 lines each. So we have a little something to expect here. Ooh. But yeah, you can already see these big plain walls. Ooh. Lots of decoration though. Decorating with props instead of with geometry, I think is an interesting, like, it's an interesting challenge, because the geometry is absolutely what okay, that's a blue door, so we got to go around it anyway. The geometry is, when you're not doing a challenge map, the geometry is sort of the easiest thing to work with, to adjust, to say, hey, I'm gonna make changes here. I'm gonna add pieces. That's not a pillar. That is, what is this? I guess we'll find out. Also, just interesting to consider that this is all pistol so far. Also, kind of crazy that, like, this whole thing feels like, or this whole thing is one long hallway, right? Because, you know, it's like I was describing, rooms, hallways, as much as you can get around with. You remember how I was talking about on, if you do a hallway to a room, but you have the walls out here, it turns this wall into 3. What if the hallway just connected at the entirety of the room? Man, I don't know how many episodes ago it was. That's what it is. That was their monster closet. That's how they refreshed the space. Okay, I'm down with that. Oh wow! So that little notch that used up 2 extra ones. That's I think it pays because it does help decorate, and the idea of transition materials. Like, you often don't see 2 materials butting up against each other, because where that, like, look around in your house, right? Where that would happen, either it's like a like kitchen wall and then cabinet, but sometimes where you'll see it, there's usually like a piece of molding or a third material to cover the seam. So doing that little bit can go a long way. So it's just, you know, the question is like these maps are going to be sort of designed like so. That's kind of the interest, why I think these are worth looking at, because the idea is, oh, these maps are going to be minimalist, right? This is going to be, what does a space look like when you are putting as little detail as possible, when you're making it as plain as possible for the sake of like geometric simplicity, you know? Oh, yeah, okay, a little. I like that they did the stairs here, instead of doing like a buttons or warps. I like a very physical room, you know? I like a very physical, like we didn't, because like sometimes you might see a thing like this, like if you fell off like right here, either some piece of this would be like a lift that you would drop the entire floor, get on it, and then it would go back up to its normal height. Or maybe you would put like a warp pad in here that just warps you back to the start. But the idea of just like, no, this is like a physical. This has something, you know, considered in it. I like that. Yeah, that is a very. You want to talk about a simple map? I do like. I didn't even quite put that together. But consider here that this was all closed off hallways, and then this is technically like a courtyard, because it is the internal space that is the um, only outdoor space. I like that. Man, that is such a small map. I kind of love that. So I guess the idea was 100 lines or less. This can't be 100 lines, can it? And only 11 monsters. All right. Well, let's go. Listen, if today's a short stream, I wouldn't mind because I think okay. All right, so here we definitely have some more complexity. I'm curious how many of these are going to be like it's 100 lines, but they've all been condensed to create like one interesting room. Ah, hey. Yep, and that's it. Everybody off. Can we not? Ah! We can already kind of tell what's going to go on because there's a door up there, which is a later door. And I think the only way we can get there is if we... I'm wasting shells. Is if we do something to raise these two pillars, and then we come out of there and run across. Always make toxins be open to the air. That's the version of well ventilated, huh? All right. Hey, glad to see you there. That's no problem. Honestly, there's probably more words to that sentence. I don't know. Oh, is this? Oh, yo. Let me clear this out. Ow. But I think this is actually really clever. Okay, so okay, this is really clever. Look what they've done here. So I'm pointing like that helps. Here, but like we came into this room and we went around sort of the outside of the spiral, tucked all the way in, took the lift up, and then so basically the walls of the corridor in the lower section are the lower the sides of the floor from the upper section, right? So really this could be one flat space, but half of it is up, half of it is down. And so okay. Ceiling and floor, ceiling and floor. So it was like this, but one section has been raised so that way it has a wall that is the side of the roof, and this one has a wall that is the side of the floor, right? So that's so actually a way to make solid walls with exactly one line. So that's a really clever way to add more, to basically sort of like dual function. So like one line is actually two different walls for two adjacent rooms. That's a clever way of doing that. What does this map look like so far? One center room. Here's the spiral. Oh, okay. That's why it looked like it two branching hallways, because it's out over here. All right, cool. Then there's like one or two rooms over there. It does make it a little tough because like there was not really a way for me to dodge the imp's fireball because it's just this is just too narrow. I think the width of my hitbox and the width of the fireball's hitbox is actually wider than the hallway, so there was guaranteed to be some overlap. You know what I'm saying? How do we get out of here? Also, I like the blinky up here. I just really like that nestled space too, because since the rooms are adjacent to each other, you get the feeling of like, oh, I'm like upstairs to what I was just looking at, and it's really. I love doing that. I love like when you can tell that like, oh, these rooms are basically adjacent or stacked somehow, but having them close enough that you get that feeling. But with the way Doom works, you know, vanilla Doom, where you can't have rooms over rooms, making it actually work is an interesting challenge. Hey, I was talking over you. Okay. So we've done this, and that gave us that red key card, which is for the door up there that we still can't get to. All right. This appears to. Whoa! Hey! Ho! Okay. You know, for I thought that was just gonna be like, there was a good chance that was just gonna be a little notch to like add some flavor to the room, a little bit of texture to the outside of it. But nope, there's a zone in here. I don't want to deal with up there quite yet, because who knows. Okay, where is this? Oh, okay, crossover. There. Okay, so we hit one of the switches, and then I guess this one's going to be the other one. Okay, so I like this because the I guess sort of the order of the day for this map was like, okay, let's play with my words are completely failing me today. Let's play with the sort of like dual purpose floors, right? Like the adjacent. This is a crossover. Oh, we can't go back down this way. Okay. I do want to pop over back here and look again, because if you look at it, ooh, where is it? It's this way. Oh yeah, there you go. So you can see this split right here. This is what I was talking about with the rooms. The corners of the rooms touch perfectly, because the roof of one is, and the sidewall of one is the floor of the other. So that's how that ends up working out. Okay, hit both switches. So now that's up. I want the extra shells. Thank you. Now we deal with up here. This one is all right. Just another little loop. Like it could have. Okay, so I like this, right? Because this could, like, all right. It's a little harder to see it now with these big blockers. So this lift could have just been right here, right? And it could have just lifted us up and we immediately run off. But I really appreciate that it. This was something I enjoyed doing in Minecraft when I, was in high school and college and had a lot more time on my hands to make convoluted bullshit. I still enjoy making convoluted bullshit, but now I just have to find quicker ways of doing it. But like creating rooms that are adjacent or have windows into each other, or you can see one from the other one and you can be like, oh, that room is right there. But then having to create but not connecting them immediately and just being like, oh no, the only way to get there is actually you have to go down here to get into this thing which goes up to the roof, then you take the spiral stairs down, and then you go over to the catwalk to go through this one floor of the other building that you can only get to from the first building, and then you walk back over here and then you're in that adjacent room. And it's just like okay, so like, and that's what I talk about when I talk about like windows as like layout foreshadowing, is because like, oh, I see this, clearly I'm going to be getting there, and it lets you know what you're going towards and what you need to work on, what you're working towards, but you put the challenge in between there, right? You make it a journey from here to there, and this is just a little loop, but I appreciate even just a little loop. Why not? Should be the end, right? Oh boy. Oh, because I kind of need that angle. Get across. This is a very low power curve WAD so far. Like, this is level 2. I'm assuming we're going to hit like level 3 through this door. And I'm still mainly using pistol. But yeah, all right. One hub. Okay, to me, and to my brain, this is a Metroid map. It is, there's one zone that at the dead end of it was a key, and then we have these other two zones that is one way is accessible, and it loops back into the other side, and it's just like, okay, that's, yep, okay. I was already over here. Oh gosh, what have I done? All right, next map. 1, 2, Flints who adore you. All right. What do we got? What do we got? Oh boy. Ah. Oh boy, then how much map is there gonna be here? Cause like, cause it's like I was describing at the top. Um, you can make one of these maps big by just having like a long simple hallway, but this is not a simple hallway. This is a hallway that has like doors and alcoves off of it. Okay, so that's going to be a loop around. And a one-way loop around. You have to go this way to do this. All right, that did something. I like a skylight. I like a room that's not like not a way to an outdoor, but suddenly sunlight. I like that. It get like, and even doing so. Yeah, I want to talk about too much at once. Boy, for not having words, I have too many thoughts today. Um, One thing that I'm noticing with this map is like every single room is playing with ceiling height in order to, because playing with heights is free in terms of line definitions, right? So if you want to make a room feel like a different, so like even like this, right? So this, okay, this quote unquote room that we are in, and if we look on the map, you can see this is a square room. This room has no walls because it is this line of the floor. This is a point, a crossover point with the 4. Over here, this line over to here, and this line back to the start. Those are the 4 walls of this room. But you notice they're not walls. They're all completely open from side to side. The walls that this is in the next room, and this is in the next room. This room has no walls. But it feels like its own room, right? That's because we have played with the ceiling heights. It having that separate height of the ceiling makes it feel like, no, this space is sort of defined and unified by having its own ceiling height, its own ceiling texture. It's open on this side, but it's, and you get some wall up here. Even though it is not a blocking wall, you get the sense of like, oh, okay, here are the walls of this room. They're just start up there. So to me, at least, that's a super interesting thought, that this room has 4 walls, but it also has no walls. But by playing with the ceiling heights, it makes it feel like its own room. And I talk about that because even in the last couple of levels, I noticed, giving all the different sections, even though you're doing a lot of like, everything feels like a hallway because you don't want to spend the extra walls to, add a wall that you've cut a doorway into. We don't want to spend those lines. But by playing with the heights in like every section, you're making that, so this is just a hallway, right? Like, this is just one long loop around hallway. But by adding this section here, which is the skylight, this feels like a room. This feels like a separate room, even though looking on the map, it's just more hallway. But by playing with the heights, by adding a skylight, by playing with the textures of it here, and unifying the textures in a way that says, nope, this courtyard has like an internal consistency to it. It makes it feel like a room in the middle of this hallway, instead of just being a piece of the hallway, which is truly what it is. Yeah, words. All right, I'm finally going to leave this hallway and go look at something else. There is a tiny blue key card blinking down at the end of this hallway. But you know what? See that cutout right there? That's 4, 5, because so don't forget this line here, this vertical cut is its own. Here you can see that is a piece of detail that has actually added far more lines to the cost of this map than you would think that it's worth, but it does add a lot. That is, man, with only 100 line defs, stuff like that is really at a premium. I don't want to go that way. I want spooky. I'm gonna loop this way. Okay. Okay. I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to land shots on him. Okay, so this is the same thing, like exact same thing as I was talking about. Oh wow, this goes way out. Oh, I like that. Is this map a treble clef? This map's a treble clef. Oh my god, I love that. Because it's deep treble. Oh, I misread it. I thought it was treble. Okay. Oh gosh. No, I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. But yeah, so what we're seeing here is the exact same thing we saw on the other side, where by playing with ceiling and in this case and floor heights, we are getting a sense of that in its own room. The floor heights really help because you know, in this main area, you know, this you know is a floor separation, but it's just a step, and we have another one over here, but it's still traversable, so it feels like an ascending hallway, but not like a room. Even though this gives it this unifying feeling of like, oh, because these share, then that makes this a room. But by going here, I'm gonna have to run. Once we're down in here, we suddenly have sidewalls again. You know, so using different floor heights can create solid walls, and that can create the feeling of, oh god. Okay, so you see the one strip of green? Uh-oh. Hang on. Oh, I'm gonna get shot. That one strip of green, that is created, and it's not going to show up here because it is functionally the same kind of wall as what's around it, but that is a different texture, which means that is a different piece. So this one long wall is actually 3 lines. Oh, somebody got bold on this map. I guess maybe with 2 behind them, they said, "Whoa!" So I'm getting shot at. The author started feeling bold and was like, "No, I can spend lines on decorating. Sure, why not?" Oh, good. They're shooting each other more than they're shooting me. Yeah, this is the end of this hallway anyway. So this runs straight across. Yeah, this is why I wanted to approach here, because I didn't want to have the low ground when I fought the dudes who I totally saw walking around over here. I got hit by both of those. I think it's the first time my health dropped under 100 though, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, and now we got the key. And we walk back up. Treble Clef is a pretty good, it's a pretty good shape for a level, you know, if I'm going to be honest. It's got sight lines that help you connect here to over there. It's got the wraparound, and it's that's a clever connection of here's a shape that's gonna make for a pretty good level. Oh, you know what? I bet. Is there one more? Yeah. I bet you this button up. Actually, I'm gonna go up here anyway, because there are some spare shells over here, which I will take. I bet this button raised that pillar down at the end of the hallway, which is what let us run across. So I bet if we had gone left at first, that would have seemed like a dead end. All right, that's fine. Excuse? Oh! That map was small enough to hear that. That's a secret exit right there. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Okay, so good. So we're seeing all 9 maps. Poisonous. I wonder if that's going to be a... I would like to get out there. That is absolutely something. Oh. I wonder if that's just like the kanji for poison or something. Yellow key. Wait, blue key? Wait a second. Alright, Berserker Pack. Is that it? Yeah, it's totally it, isn't it? Alright. Alright. It looks like it. If you count the intro hallway down here is that slash-ish thing at the bottom. That totally counts. Sure, why not? There's like dudes down here. How much trouble am I in if I fall in one of these inner ones? So I definitely want to try crossing over here. Ooh, rocket. That's way more power than I need. Well, I'm gonna have to fall down there because that's blue, but also there's yellow. I'm gonna save, and this is 900 knee deep because this hasn't been that bad. Okay, don't fire the rockets when I get down there. Let me grab yellow, and then across to blue, and then health, and then that would have been nice earlier. Now, how do we get out of here? Is there a button somewhere I can hit? Okay, I'll take it. Why not? I guess maybe all the poison signs are also your buttons. That'd be fair. They're called out well. Huh. Wait, red? Oh god, one of these has a red key in it, don't it? Yep. Alright, that's kind of cute. I do wish I had seen the toxin bath first, but... And then all 3 keys, and then... we exit. Alright, secret map. That's cute. Okay, the root of evil. So is this some sort of square root thing? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone else? Whoa, hey, what's up, fellas? Bye. Ugh. You got squishy. There's a room down there. Okay, this is where we started. Let's go check out that room, though. Chain gun, health. Alright, not that much. We're gonna need the blue key there. Oh, it's a $sign. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and look now because if Yeah, that's a dollar sign. Because if the gimmick they went with is what if, ow, what if every map was like a letter, because that's, or a symbol, I guess, because that's something that you can draw pretty simply. Um, that means those first two were probably also symbols that I just didn't recognize. That's right, I still have the blue mail. That's good. All right, so now go around this way. It's true. It's not a bad way of doing it. Using like symbols and letters and like drawn lines as a way to create a labyrinth. It's something you don't necessarily realize until you see it top down like this. Oh, hey, what's up? I knew there was something secret about that. I noticed it when I looked on the map, but I kind of just couldn't put together what it was. Also, if I can say, since, I might as well keep up with my own pattern of behavior and comment on the group of enemies that it just threw at us. That was a decent size. It wasn't that hard. It was enough to be scary. Yeah, you see the colors of the walls around this room. I was like, those aren't, like, my brain was like, those aren't solid walls, but I can't tell you why they're not, what they are instead. It's just like, there's something different, but yeah, no, because there were dudes hanging out up there in the skylight. Like that was enough dudes to be like, oh, this is scary. This is, they're right in front of me. This is like, well, I guess maybe this is the interesting thing about it, is like, this isn't enough of a wall of meat that you can't like get the drop on them, right? You can't get, like, because like the best encounter is the one that you win before, you know, that's some Sun Tzu stuff. The battle best one is one before any swords are drawn or whatever. So the idea is like if you can get the drop on somebody, if you can, come up and stealth them, or like catch them around the corner and get them before, if you can take them out before they have a chance to shoot back, then that's not a fight, that's an ambush, that's a takedown, that's whatever. um but with a wall of meat like that, with enough enemies like that, in it is enough that in the time it takes you in the time it will take to take them all out, it is just like physically enough time, a big enough window of time, that some of them will be able to get shots off, right? It's like, oh, this is a big enough group that I cannot take them out one by one before they get a chance to strike back. They are a big enough group that some of them will get a chance to strike while I'm dealing with others. Um, and that might be the thing in my mind, uh, that is like, it's like, okay, there's like an enemy encounter. There's like a group of enemies that are ambushing you, where that window is big enough because just the time it takes to like find and acquire the next target is big enough to make that window bigger. But as far as like a slaughter group like that, it is just like, it is a wall of meat. It is a buffer of HP that gives some of them time to really have a fight, and cause you to have to be like, I need to play defensively here as well. Um, Beyond that, I think, is where you reach the tedium. But once you get big enough that that situation occurs, then it's like, okay, we have hit this point of, this is now like a group. This is me taking on a group, and that's enough to get that feeling in your head. And then it's like, okay, well, if the group is any bigger, than the bigger the group is than that, then you start getting into tedium or whatever. But that's interesting. I'm glad that was there. That's a thought I haven't had about my feelings on all this before. What was this one called? The hub. What's a very hub like letter? I will say that this this mapping style, this mapping challenge does have very like old school Doom feel. And I think a lot of that does come from uh this feeling of there's not a lot of doorways. Ah, oh, there's just folks out here, kind of everywhere. Um, yeah, what I was talking about before. There's not doorways. There are everything is kind of a hallway. Everything is wall to wall, open to the next room. And the way that you sort of reduce that feeling is with a room like this, where those hallways, those doorways are separated, um, even though the hallways themselves are full open into each other. Because I guess when you think about it, the old, uh, what do you call it? Like the constraint to keep things within 100 lines, is in this case is being done as a challenge specifically by that numeric count. But in 93, with the power available in the computers that this was designed and released for, like, ooh, I don't think this is a symbol. I think this is a unique design. I like that a lot. um it's a question of computer efficiency. It's just like, oh, the more lines we use, the more strain there is on the system trying to render it. So they were also they basically were trying to do a similar kind of efficiency like this, but for the sake of like optimization for running on systems, not as just like a design challenge. But this whatever oh, this is what brings us all the way over here. Okay. I like this. Oh no, I'll think about that later. This is really good. This is really condensed. Like look at this whole room over here. Again, same thing we saw before, where there's an upper level and there's a lower level, and they are completely packed into each other. Where upper walls and lower walls are the walls for the different floors. And extra rooms and stuff. Man, this is good. I love the way that it's all tucked around each other. Oh, this is good. Wait, I thought when I went up here, there's a wall cut in. Oh yeah, just the one. Okay, Oh, okay, I see. I was thinking about the lower floor, not the upper floor. But I was gonna say, it turns out that this challenge is basically asking to do that. It's like, oh, create your level design with optimizing in mind, and what you end up with is kind of what they were going for originally. So this actually, I'm going to say the same thing that I thought, the same thing that I said about the 1024 levels, where like, if you wanted to make a old school feeling Doom map today, this is what I might do. Is I might say like same kind of thing. Be like, okay, if this level has like 3 areas, I'm gonna say, 100 line defs per area, right? And then just stick them together modularly at the end, and just be like, oh no, this is going to be, this area with a hub and whatever, then that leads into this area, then that leads into that area. You have your 3-act structure. But this limiting how many in each area is really going to get you that feeling. But then you can make it as long as you want. If you want to make, if you want to do that with like 8 modules in a row, okay, cool. You're going to have like a pretty long map, but the entire thing will have this sort of like, again, I'm going to keep saying low res, which isn't quite right, but you get what I mean. It's very like sort of like low fidelity, low detail. That need for efficiency creates a very like specific feeling of this is called the central elevation, and I bet you it's a big star. Because what map is this? This is map 6. All right, so this and then 2 more. It creates this. It is that efficiency that leads to that sort of the sort of like architectural vibe that those old Doom levels had, right? Whoa! I turned on caps lock. Spooked myself. That's probably a reason I want that. Oh, hey, what's up? Why am I doing this? I don't need this extra challenge. I don't need that today. Yeah, what are we looking? Ooh, that's not quite a star. Hey! Hey, buddy! You missed the floor! Okay, so this is gonna be overhead to where we started? Oh, there's another floor over there. Oh my gosh. Alright, well I see why they call it central elevation, because that one elevator leads to like 4 different hallways, I guess? Alright, that's red. Don't have red yet. This over here is a big loop. Going to here. Where are we here? Alright, this is a room that we walked around in that opening section. None of these are like off and are secretly a switch? Okay. Yeah. Right, we have that whole downstairs area I haven't examined yet. Nope, that's where we came in. Let's go this way. Okay, there's red. Monster closet, good. Then red key was all the way up on the top. This is good. The like in terms of something to like stop and look at and examine the like detail work craftsmanship of, this is nothing to write home about. But in terms of the creativity of efficiency on play in this WAD is, I am so into it. It's playing with ideas that like you could be using anywhere, and most folks just don't, because again, modern computers and sort of the nature of the tools available to you in creating this map. So it's like, no, go nuts with this, add extra lines so you can do extra textures, and then your texture work is where your detail is. And it's just like, yeah, but like really though, just this idea. That's like a big arrow. Huh. All right. But really, this idea of like, no, you need to demonstrate an efficiency. You need to pack things. Like it's also leading to very claustrophobic levels, because like this nature of, okay, no, these walls are actually the sides of floors and ceilings of other rooms, is just naturally leading it to being extremely claustrophobic levels and extremely compact, and everything is pressed against and touching each other. Hey, this opened up. That. Okay. Something's happening. Fantastic. Oh! Thank you. Last one's all monsters. Oh, blue card. Aha! I like this. This is like a secret little balcony over here. So one guy teleported, and where the heck did he go? Hey, wait, this is a... We would have walked... Okay, so in the opening room, this edge was wall onto the inner here, and this was the drop-down ceiling. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, just the I'm kind of in awe at the shows of efficiency on play. I'm really... Here, I want to go look at that from this side. Yes, this bit right here. So these two walls on the opposite side are the balcony we were just standing on, and then this drop down is the side of this drop down up there was the walls of that balcony. Wow, yeah, this is so compact. And because that's the thing, right? Like, you could go, and we really are kind of tackling this from top down, aren't we? Oh no, bottom floor and then from top down. Yeah, all right. Because like this is all like super efficient compacting of levels, right? But it could also, you could apply these same techniques to pretty much anything. Like, you could make this level, and then, you know, give extra shapes to some of the... Why is there so much dead stuff out here? You could make this map and then go back and just sort of like dig deeper and do more detail work on basically every room, every part of it, and that would be fine. This is a big arrow. Why is it a big arrow? This is not a letter. This is just real big and compact and interesting, if you ask me. All right. The severity of cleverness needed. The cleverity. You know, most men don't know where the cleverity is, but... Am I right, ladies? Anyway. Okay, good. All right. So yeah, so this is kind of what I expected, because this room is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, but it's huge, right? So that's the thing. Line defs are a question of like endpoints, but the distance doesn't matter. So you can make... I wonder if this is going to be a big plane kind of map. Oh, okay. See, here's why, you know, sometimes I feel extremely not clever, is because this would have been my map too. I would have not have had the idea of being like, you know, just look at the way I've reacted to it. The idea of like that, like the efficiency of cramming upper and lower levels together to create separate rooms. That's my brain doesn't figure that stuff out super easily. Uh-oh. All right, I'll hang out down here. Oh boy. Oh. Okay, using props to create a wall to add complexity to the room. Okay, see, that's something. I could have maybe figured that out eventually. Um, but my brain just doesn't think well in that efficiency sense. Although maybe now it'll start to, because now I'm like aware of it. I've always felt that I was pretty good at like connecting dots and figuring out how pieces can be used with other pieces. Um, or transferring lessons. It's just like, oh, we can treat this just like that other thing and it'll work out fine. Um, but in terms of like coming up with something brand new and just being like a more abstract uh uh finding new ways to use existing pieces, I've never been that good at. But now that I have something like this, which I'm gonna say is a good that I'm gonna say is a good example of how to do levels like this, I'm gonna say that it's gonna I now have like, oh, here's an example of how to do this, which means that my brain will go like, oh, I can do that, and I can do that in other situations, and how should I do that, and so on and so forth. Like oh, what's another good metaphor, because I only know how to think in metaphors for some reason, or I only know how to explain in metaphors. uh 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 I don't know, like a tactics game, right? Like you put somebody into place and then you bring up their menu and you see all their options, and it's just like, move, attack, this, the other thing, whatever. Like I in my brain, the things I've seen, the ideas I've learned, all become new actions, and it's just like, oh yeah, no matter what space I'm standing in, no matter what enemy I'm attacking, like I can look down my list and I can keep that list and try all the different things and see what happens, but I can't come up with new things to add to that list. Like you have to come up and be like, hey, like I have to find the NPC who unlocks the skill. It's like, hey, have you tried talking to the monsters? And then I'll go, oh yo, and then talk adds on to my menu. I'm a video game NPC, I guess is what I'm saying. Well, I guess we're trying over here. It's the same, God, look at this. This thing is so weird looking. Because everything is so crushed together on each other. Everything like none of the rooms are squares. All of the rooms are stretched so that way they are like so triangles are your most efficient space. It's the smallest like room you can make with the least number of lines, right? Because if you only have two lines, then you can't enclose an area with two lines, or one. So you need at least three, and once you have three, okay, then you can make room. So that's why we're seeing a lot of like weird triangular rooms. We don't have a blue key. We have a yellow key. I do like this design of door though, to be honest, because like it leaves the sides open, which can mess with your like enemy awareness depending on what you're trying to do. But the idea of being like, no, the lines are on the door and it's part of this is I'm kind of into that. You don't have to worry about sides and cutting notches to show. Okay, we have the yellow key, and the yellow key wants to go over there. And we get over there by raising this. How do we raise this? How do we raise Arizona? Oh, right, there's all the way up there to try too. No, I was up here already, and this was... there's more elevators down out of here. Oh my gosh. This place is so cool, but it is giving me a headache. That's kind of like... I was kind of talking about that, right? Like, both in whether you want to make it like a letter, like, show me ampersand levels. Wait, did I do this wrong? Did I not explore up here? I might not have explored up here. No, wait, this is our first... That seems like a place I didn't explore. Right, I started on the bottom level. I don't know what you want me to do with this. Wait, we can go out to the left over here? Oh, all the way up top. Alright. That's where we started, though. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I guess this is actually... This stick out right here is actually the exit room. Oh, yeah, you can hear the monsters, because... That'll be a corner. I just distracted myself again. Having everything so cramped like this is definitely and the way stuff is like interlocked, and you think about like, oh yeah, no, this is this room, but actually this room is also the wall of this other room. And all the way down here, this was the blue. No, this is wait, this is nothing. Blue key is the next level up. How do I not have a blue key? Look around. Maybe it's in that blue room and I missed it because I saw the rocket launcher and then got distracted by the walls. Here? Nope, not here. The top is the outside, so here, I guess. This is gonna be... Okay, straight up... No. Over here on the right, that's where the blue key gets used. Here we go! Okay. Got it. And that's the thing, right? Like, because, like, it's hard to... The way that the map works, where it highlights walls that you've seen, because we're seeing both sides of the wall, but it's technically only one line, if we see every room around a given room, that given room will be highlighted as though we've seen it. So it's actually harder to keep track of what we haven't seen. Okay. No, this is fine. Now we're gonna go this way behind the blue door. I'm gonna guess that raises the pillar, which is... I think I'll be able to get to it from here. Yes, this is this big section right here. Perfect. Across, we've already got the yellow key. Probably need that. No, I'm still okay. Okay. And then out. Cool. I think normally a level like that might give me a headache, right? Because trying to keep track of all of those different rooms and the different ways that you get to those different rooms is stressful. But this was also a decent size where, like, again, to like backtrack to every room you've been to doesn't actually take that much effort. Because there's only so many walls you can draw. And just like there's only so many rooms you can make because there's only so many walls you can draw. So that's it's not going to get so big. Like there wasn't, if there was like a first half to that map and then we had this, or like by that point I probably would have been tired. But now it's like done, we're through it, and it's going to go out of my mind, and my mind gets to refresh. I don't have to keep that stuff in ready access memory. You know what I'm saying? If I just convince everyone that I'm like a computer AI by this point in the stream, is that what's going on? Perrin's Delight. Oh, is this it? Oh, hey, danger start. This is it. This is... Okay. Oh, boy, there's already stuff out there. Oh, because this is a drop down. Oh, boy. Oh, what? Oh, there's y'alls. I just picked something up. Considering it didn't auto-switch me, I'm gonna guess it was just another rocket launcher? I guess here's also the same thing I was talking about, that this is like a big arena room. It And then walls drop. Yes. At least easy because they were trapped up there. This level would be so much harder if, like, even if there was like maybe like one up on a pillar, but then the rest were running around and chasing you. That would make it so much harder. And then, yep, this is the way episode 1 ends, where we're gonna leap into the thing. Alonzi. It's, yep, no, thing. Yeah, alright, that does it. And then this continues to the about and how to go. Alright. That was... In terms of WADs we've played, I'm gonna put that like upper middle of the road. You know what I mean? Could have been a little longer, maybe. You know, if it wasn't so constrained by the rules of itself. But it made good use of doing what it was doing. It had... I honestly, I think the best thing about this has been just like what it has made me realize, like the idea of like, oh, here's like it's not necessarily that old Doom maps feel the way they do because like the tools were harder to use, or they weren't as good as, or weren't as, the sensibilities for making maps hadn't matured yet. It wasn't that. It was more just the issue of like, oh right, we're kind of optimizing this as much as possible to make sure that the game runs well and fits into memory and whatever else. And just really realizing how much like that sense of optimization, that sense of optimization is what leads to the vibe of those levels is kind of wild. I think that's a big one for me. And there was nothing wrong with them. They were fun. An unexpected moment of learning, like, you know, what makes a group feel like a group, and why, you know, where that point of diminishing returns on group size is. And honestly, like, for being so constrained, I think we saw a lot of clever, like, a lot of clever designs to squeeze some like extra spaces and extra moments out of that cramped limitation in ways that are like, even by today's standards, would still be pretty still be clever and useful, honestly. Yeah, that was... It wasn't, you know, not the like most mind-blowing to look at. Kind of mind-blowing to realize just what the shapes of everything was, but maybe that's also just for me because I pay so close attention to these things. Um but like, yeah, no, that was fine to play. That was fine to look at. The best thing about it is that it like made me realize some things. And I'm trying to discount that in terms of like trying to like rank it and judge it, but like it's important in like a modern standpoint. It's almost like, yeah, it's something just to play. Like, you know, it's short. You can never complain about something short. It's short and it's fine, but really the standout thing about it is like what it shines a light on in terms of the difference between modern and classic design philosophies and techniques and standards. Um, so that's cool. That's fine. That's going to do it.
Yeah. All right, give me a minute. I'm finishing up.
I need a sign. Um, but I completely lost my train of thought now. I was finishing up. So, from playing all of these challenge maps, I've been feeling a little inspired lately. So I do want to sort of just give a heads up that I think next week's episode is going to be another guide-in of working on a map, because I have a rough idea, and I bet I could make it pretty quickly. Sort of going from mainly sticking on the idea of the 1024 maps. I really want to. I have an idea with that. I won't say too much yet, but so look forward to that next week. And until next time, go get your vaccine. If you haven't, stay home as much as you can. And honestly, uh, even if you have your vaccine, a lot of these rules still are applying because not enough people have their vaccines yet. And one sense of, like, once you get a vaccine, you are not free of things. You still have responsibilities to other people, but also leading by example never hurts. For those who haven't, gotten completely on board yet, listen, unintentional peer pressure is a real thing. So why not make it intentional and use it for good? Um, until you get your vaccine, stay home as much as you can. Even then, uh, if you when you have to go out, wear a mask. Your mask protects other people. Uh, your mask is to protect other people, and their mask is to protect you. Wash your hands more than you would normally. That's just a good rule anyway. Um, be considerate to other people. Be aware of other people's dynamics. Be aware of the things going on in other people's lives. Uh, remember that neutrality isn't real. It always supports the oppressor. Learn to read power dynamics to understand who victims are and not just who is claiming to be a victim. Um, judge people by their actions, not necessarily by their words. Uh, words can be actions depending on what they inspire, and what those words do to other people. There's a lot to it. I'm not smart enough. Maybe one day I'll write half a book about it and hand it off to somebody who can elaborate it better. Um, but the rule that underlies the rest of these rules is take care of one another. I'll see you next week.